Well, I finally decided it's been 3 days. I need to get out and make another video and update you on a few things we have going on around here. Not that they're that exciting, but Walt and most of the kids went and played pickleball, so he said, Wendy, now is the time to make a video. And it was pretty quiet up until like the third try of this, and someone had let all the dogs outside, and we have 5 dogs. Each one of them is one of my kids, but I kind of take possession as well. Whoa, am I making this too jiggly? My friend Kendra said, Wendy, you need to turn the camera sideways. And I'm like, okay. So I have this little stick thingy, turned it sideways. Hopefully I'm not making any quick moves and making it all jiggly. Anyhow, that being said, what has been going on? A lot's been going on. There's this thing I started about a little over 2 years ago, and it's called Swedish death cleaning. It's a thing. Now, I may get this wrong, but I think they said usually women in their 50s started doing that in preparation for death, so you don't leave all this stuff for your kids to have to go through. Well, little did I know, in my 59 years, I have collected more religious items. I shouldn't say collected. I saved. It's like, I can't let that just like sit here in this old pawn shop, or you go to an estate sale and no one knew what it was and you knew what it was, so you just grabbed it and kept it, and you prayed for the person who formerly owned it. And what's really sad? I have this one, it's a beautiful picture of Pope John Paul II, and I have it hanging in my office, and it was, there was the name of the person who owned it. It was given as a present to them, and yet it meant nothing after they passed, and there it sat. And I'm like, I'm not going to let that happen. So I did create a page on my website called Sikorsky Family Treasures to put some stuff over there, get it back into some good Catholic hands. Problem is, I have very little time and a whole lot of stuff. It was kept very organized, but some of the drawers in my desk I haven't been through. I'm like, I didn't know I had this. I didn't know I had that. It happens after 59 years. You collect a few things. So I want to get them into good Catholic hands. And yes, I am leaving items to my children, but only if they want them. And I ask them, do you want this? Do you want this? One of the other things is my rather large library of, I don't know, it's definitely at least 3,000 books. No one seems to really be the obsessive reader that I am, so I've got to work and think about that one. Anywho, yes, this is a side yard. Yes, that is a pig in the center of the screen. If you go around, my daughter takes care of most of the gardens up top here. You can see I threw in little whimsical things. There's a goose down there. You got the pig right here. I mean, you'll find little mischievous animals all over. I've got rabbits, fake ones, real ones, but the real ones are over in their own rabbit pen. And as you can see, beyond the fence is one of my kids' garden. Things are starting to pop up. And we have some fire pits up here and some grow pits and all that fun stuff. But anyway, back to Swedish death cleaning. I am finding a ton of stuff. And I think one of my biggest worries or concerns, I'm not really worried about it, but I don't want my kids to hate me for having tons of things that they don't want anything to do with. And I want to make sure they get into the hands of those who want them. I mean, I have some really awesome, cool stuff. Things like, one of the things I found, didn't even know I had it. It was from the 1950s, and it was a Pope. Was it Pope? Which Pope? Pope, was it Pope Pius the 12th? And it was a coin that was given out at the Vatican because it was a Jubilee year, if I remember correctly. I mean, just really cool things that other people just tossed aside, but they meant something to me. But you know what? We don't all live, none of us live forever, not all. None of us live forever. So I'm trying to take care of that now. Fortunately, I was able to keep things, kind of organized. So I don't have a mess. If you walked in, you say, no, this isn't a mess. But it's too much stuff. So I'm releasing. I've went already through most of my clothing and released most of that as well. Because I'm like, certain things, when you're 59 years old, you don't wear anymore. It wasn't anything bad or immodest, but there's just certain things I don't wear anymore. I don't, wear things like, say, I hear those dogs going. I had a talk with them, but they didn't listen apparently. I don't wear things like shorts anymore. I just wear, like a mid-knee dress. Dresses are just easier. So yeah, you might want to look into Swedish death cleaning if you're in your 50s. It's a thing. I don't want to leave that to my kids. I'm such a good mother. I got to remind them of that tonight when they get home. Anyway, good night and God bless.